You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a suspect steals a pickup truck and crashes it into a bridge support.
And a Missouri man is declared innocent. However, he still sits in jail.
And we've had some fog, some mist, some drizzle out there. We are looking to clear out but remain cloudy through the day and cool. Take a look at that forecast coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. The driver of a stolen pickup crashes into a bridge support. Carthage authorities responded to reports of a crash at Central Avenue and I-49. They discovered an eastbound pickup truck had left the roadway to the right, where it had run into a support column of the I-49 northbound lanes overpass of Central Avenue. Carthage Fire spent about 20 minutes extracting the driver of the pickup. Once traffic resumed to normal and the pickup was towed, authorities discovered the pickup stolen. And this is a developing story. You can find updates on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com as they become available. Canadian Pipeline Company says it has completed the recovery of oil spilled into a Kansas creek in December. TC Energy says it continues to restore the shoreline of Mill Creek and adjacent areas near the Nebraska border affected by the spill of more than 500,000 gallons of crude oil from the Keystone Pipeline. It was the largest oil pipeline spill in the U.S. in 9 years and the largest leak on the 12-year-old Keystone Pipeline. Company said it expects to continue its work at the spill site until the third quarter of the year. And the unemployment rate in Kansas is expected to decrease in 2024, with the state poised to add thousands of new jobs. And that's according to a new employment forecast released by Wichita State University's Center for Economic Development and Business Research. Since 2020, employment rates have been on the rise. The center estimates an employment increase of 0.8% for the state in 2024. It also predicts GDP across all industries in the state to increase. The oil, mining, and natural gas industries in particular are expected to have significant growth.
We've had some mist and drizzle out there, and it's starting to clear out, but it's left us with some low visibilities. We've also had some areas that picked up a little too much rain yesterday. It's much needed rain. Some of us got a little too much. We have a flood warning along the Spring River near Carthage, expected to crest at 12 feet, putting it at minor flood stage. That runs till 10:25. An aerial flood advisory till 1:30 for parts of Jasper, Newton, and Lawrence counties, and an aerial flood warning for parts of Berry County until 10:45. So do watch out for some flooding in those areas. As you can see, visibility improving dramatically as we're starting to see this all clear out. However, Pittsburgh still some pretty low visibility. You can see it looks a lot clearer on the MoDOT camera at 32nd and range line, but you can still see that fog in the distance from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. And we're just socked in with clouds right now, and that's the way our day is looking to be. 60 in Joplin at the moment, northwest breeze at 9. Across the area, temperatures looking like this: 57 Iola Yates Center, 59 Chanute Neodesha Parsons, 61 Chatopa Miami, and 62 in Neosho. Temperatures aren't going to do a lot of moving. Could still see a stray sprinkle or two through the morning. Otherwise cloudy, low 60s for our highs. You might see some sunshine in some areas, and if you do, you could get a little bit warmer, but odds are you're going to remain cloudy through the day, and again, a stray sprinkle here and there, but most of us dry. We're mostly cloudy this evening. Again, temperatures not moving much, but eventually they'll drop back into the upper 50s for our overnight lows. We've got an opportunity to dry out, because as we showed you with the flood warning, some of us need to dry out for just a minute. We're going to be partly cloudy and mild tomorrow, upper 70s. 80 by Thursday. We spend the majority of the day dry, and then by the evening, say 5, 6 o'clock, scattered showers and thunderstorms move in. Those continue through the overnight, and they'll be scattered throughout the day on Friday, and the rain and cloud cover keeping us cooler. Upper 60s Friday and Saturday. Saturday, Sunday, though, look pretty good. Sunday especially, sunny skies. Lower 70s out there. We start to warm up as we kick off the next work week, and we stay dry Monday and Tuesday. We cruise into the lower 80s, and then we have more much-needed rain chances by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A Missouri man convicted of murder says that he did not commit could be a free man. However, there's a bit of a holdup. Dion Broxton has more on why an innocent man won't be leaving jail anytime soon.
I've been praying on this for a long, long time.
Martha Dunn received a late Mother's Day present Monday. She learned the City of St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office filed a motion to vacate her son, Chris Dunn's life sentence for a 1990 murder in North City.
So they had an eyewitness say he had shot somebody.
I wasn't there.
This stretch of Liberty behind me is where police say someone shot and killed 15-year-old Rico Rogers. Eyewitnesses said that Chris Dunn did it, but later admitted they lied and said it was too dark to see who the shooter was.
So no, they didn't really have a case except two young guys that said I did a crime.
Several years ago, a judge ultimately ruled Dunn as innocent after a hearing. But Missouri law only allows the courts to vacate convictions for death row inmates.
I'm innocent, but you're going to keep me in prison for the rest of my life.
Dunn's last hope may be this last-second filing by Kim Gardner's office on her way out next month. The next circuit attorney will have to oversee this case once it goes before a judge.
We hope that the evidence speaks for itself and that this effort that's been begun by Ms. Gardner is carried on, not because people agree or disagree politically, but because it's the right thing to do.
Chris Dunn's family says they won't be relieved until they see him walk out of court a free man.
And we're going to celebrate years past, even though we can't make them up, but it'll be nice.
Martha Dunn has suffered 2 heart attacks. Her son Chris has had 3 while behind bars. She hopes her health remains stable enough to reunite with her son as a free man. Up next, do you want to learn CPR? Then the city of Joplin has just the opportunity for you.
And later, we're going to talk more about that forecast, the cool weather we've got today, and the incoming rain chances later this week. We'll do that a little later, but first, here's another live look from Joplin. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in the studio today is Misty Hammer, and you're here to talk about some upcoming CPR classes that are being held in Joplin. So first, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. So CPR, of course, is an extraordinarily crucial thing for folks to learn.
Yes, very important. When seconds matter, that's when you want someone around you that knows how to do some CPR. So the Joplin Health Department is offering classes at the public library. They're going to be this Thursday, May 18th. For those that take the online course, they can do the checkoff, which is from 10 to 11. That's $20 to do that. And then we have a friends and family course, which teaches you all the basics, from using an AED to doing the compressions and the breaths and that sort of thing. So,
And how essential is it for folks to have some of these CPR skills?
well, you can't plan an emergency. So, you could be at a restaurant and your child could start choking and you want to be able to get that airway open. So it's very, very important.
And that's something actually I wanted to bring up too. You know, children, obviously, for new parents, that can be a scary situation. Even when they're, still in that toddler range, they're a little bit older, that can be scary if you don't know what to do. And that's another part of what you're offering is some child and infant CPR as well.
Yeah, yes, we teach you on the grown-ups and the kids and the babies. So, and that course will be from 1 to 4. And that is great for new parents, grandparents, babysitters, anyone that just needs to know those basic skills.
And what's some of the turnout been like at these different events?
Great. We've had a lot of people interested. I think that interest was increased whenever the football player had the incident on the football field, and we're glad to be able to teach those life-saving skills.
Right. I mean, that definitely brought CPR into a national spotlight,
Yes.
in a way it hadn't been before.
Right.
And then you've got something in this box.
I do. I have a baby. I don't recommend having a baby in a box, but so here's the baby.
Okay.
I was just gonna, what we would with a baby, it's a little bit. You don't have to have like your hands it's just kind of, you want to make sure that you get right there between the nipple line there, and and you want to press hard enough, like 1.5 inches deep, and you want to go at a good pace, like at the beat of Staying Alive, you know that song from the 70s?
Yeah, yeah.
So you want to go 30 compressions per 2 breaths. So we would go 2 breaths. You want to make sure you see the chest rise, and the rest you have to get in the class.
Okay, so yeah, no, and so just a real quick recap. When are these classes? Where are these classes?
These classes are at the Joplin Public Library. You do have to register, and you go to the joplinmo.org website. You'll go to Parks and Recreation as the department, and the registration site is there. It's not the health department, so it's there that you register. If you need the checkoff, then you'll want to do the BLS checkoff. If you need the friends and family, the whole course, then sign up for that, and then you'll pay right there, and then we'll see you at the public library on Thursday.
All right, Missy, thank you so much for coming in. We'll have all this information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Coming up on 7:16 on this Tuesday morning, we're going to have a few isolated showers, maybe some patchy drizzle out there through the morning. Otherwise, most of us dry and cloudy. And look at this, temperatures just not moving much. Lower 60s for highs. Temperatures just kind of hovering right around there as we're going to continue to see cloudy skies through the day. If you see a little bit of sunshine, you might get a pinch warmer, but honestly, this cloud cover really just expected to hold on to the area through the majority of today and into tonight. We remain mostly cloudy, but that acts as a bit of a blanket, though, that it helps to keep us out of getting too cold as we drop back into the upper 50s for our overnight lows. Tomorrow, though, an opportunity to dry out because some of us have flood warnings, and so we need that brief break. 77, partly cloudy. 80 on Thursday. Most of the day is dry, then evening thunderstorm chances scattered throughout the day on Friday, a bit cooler, and we have a pretty decent weekend ahead of us as well. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this first live look from downtown Joplin. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Joining us today in the studio is Bob Brown, here to tell us all about the upcoming Joplin Memorial Run. Welcome to the show, Bob. Great to have you here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so this has been going on for so long, as you were talking about, just as kind of starting to blend together, but it's really a very important, very special event that's coming up.
It is. It is. In 2011, we lost 161 family members and community members, and since that time, the Joplin Memorial Run has been here to honor those people, celebrate their lives, and celebrate the movement of Joplin after that.
Right, and it's been an incredible recovery in that time. I know a lot of folks, when it happened, weren't really sure what was going to happen next since the devastation was so significant.
Right. I mean, we had over 8,000 structures damaged. It's in the top 10 largest devastation tornadoes in the history of the United States. So it was very large, and Joplin and the whole community, and we're talking the 4-state area, came together in 2011 and has come together since then to celebrate and honor and then have an enjoyable morning with the run.
Oh yeah, and so tell me a little bit about this year's event. What do people need to know if they want to take part?
Well, first they need to go to joplinmemorialrun.com to sign up, and that's where you can sign up to register to run a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and then we have a kids 1 mile fun run that is just a blast to watch those little kids run that. And you can register there on the joplinmemorialrun.com website. But there's also a tab for volunteers. We need 5 more volunteers, and I'd like to have 5 people go to that and sign up today.
All right, and so, I mean, volunteering is pretty easy. Now, for me, I could probably do the kids' fun run. I am not in good physical shape to do any of the others, but I could possibly do that fun run, and the kids would probably still beat me anyway.
Right, and I think the beard pulls you out. There is an age limit, Chris, but we're going to have great weather, too, as you've said. It's going to be mild, 69 for a high today, so it's going to be perfect, no rain. It's just going to be a great morning again.
Yeah, it should be pretty excellent weather. If I remember right, it was last year or possibly the year before, where it was a pretty rainy, chilly morning for the run. So that's
Right.
makes it a little easier for some of the runners because they can keep cool, but for everybody else, it's a little tough sometimes.
Right, we've been blessed with the weather for the majority of the events, and again, it looks like this weekend, a lot of people wait until the end to see what the weather's going to be. You've already told them it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, looking at a great weekend.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you, Chris.
And of course, we'll have all this information on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be back with more right after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:24. Joplin firefighters battle with a blaze early this morning. It happened just after 12:15 when reports of a structure fire on South Wall Avenue called in to Joplin Emergency 911. Joplin Fire, Police, and Metz EMS all responded. Active flames were under control in minutes, but the fire had spread throughout the porch ceiling and into the eaves of the roof. Joplin Fire remained on scene until just after 2 a.m. The house appeared to be vacant, but as no one was located in or around the residence. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, and this is a developing story. We'll have more on it on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, a pair of tractor trailers collide on I-44 and shut down a large section of the interstate. The crash happened at mile marker 14 about 12:20 early this morning. Now, one of the semis overturned and the other semi, a cattle hauler, jackknifed across the highway. Responders requested MoDOT bring sand to cover some of the areas of the crash site covered in diesel fuel. No injuries were reported. We'll have more details as this story develops on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Kansas passes the omnibus budget into law. On Monday, Kansas Governor Laura Kelly signed the omnibus budget, which provides increased funding for higher education, local infrastructure, and student mental health programs in Kansas. The budget includes salary increases for state employees, investments in STEM workforce training, funding for local infrastructure projects, and $13.5 million for the mental health intervention pilot to expand access to behavioral health services for students. The budget also includes funding for services for elderly and disabled Kansans. Governor Kelly line item vetoed certain aspects of the bill. The heavy rains led to flooding in parts of the 4 states. This picture is from Garrison Avenue in Carthage, taken by the Chamber of Commerce. And this picture is of a home near Grand Falls in Joplin. It shows a large rush of water coming through a yard.
And flooding is still a concern as we have some flood warnings and advisories out there. We have the flood warning for Spring River around the Carthage area until 10:25. It's expected to crest at 12 feet, which puts it at minor flood stage. We have a flood advisory for parts of Jasper, Newton, and Lawrence counties until 1:30, and then an aerial flood warning for parts of Berry County until 10:45. So while we've received some much needed rain, some of us got a little too much out there. We've had some fog to deal with this morning and some mist. It's starting to clear out, but some lower visibility still in the Nevada, Stockton area. But this again will continue to clear out through the day. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line looks good. Still seeing some fog there on the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Right now in Joplin, obviously cloudy. It's expected to remain that way. 60 degrees right now, the northwest breeze at 6. Around the area, we're looking at 57 Iola, 59 Parsons, 61 Miami, and 62 Neosho. We get our day started. We'll have again a few isolated sprinkles out there, otherwise cloudy, temperatures hovering in the low 60s, and that gauge does not move much. We're going to be in the low 60s for highs today under cloudy skies. We do have additional rain chances this week. We'll take another look at your full forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks. Chris says the weather warms up, ticks are already making their presence known. A recent study in Missouri detected tick-borne diseases in about 21% of the gathered ticks. Ticks can carry several serious diseases with a number of debilitating symptoms. Experts say it's important to protect yourself while outside by using insect repellent, wearing long sleeve shirts and long pants, and staying on walking paths.
They are most attracted to areas of high moisture, so that's going to be things like your armpits, your groin, your feet, because of socks trapping moisture in your shoes. So those are the first places to check when looking for ticks on you.
Experts also say it's important to treat your pets for ticks, as they can easily carry ticks and bring them indoors. Fort Scott Public Library is getting ready for its summer reading programs. The library will host its second annual Library Con event in June. It's a chance for families to hang out at the library, meet local authors, play some games, and even meet cosplayers dressed up as their favorite characters. Officials say events like these are a great way to keep kids engaged over the summer.
Helping kids to avoid the summer slide and to keep on track with their reading skills all throughout the summer. So in order to do that, we give them prizes. We also have a virtual program, so parents can sign their kids up online. They can log all their reading online, come pick up their prizes at the library.
The Library Con will be on June 17th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pitt State President is using pedal power to raise funds and goodwill. Dan Shipp began his 12-day trip titled Dan Bikes Kansas. Some Frontenac students cheered him on as he passed through their community. Shipp and his caravan will stop in cities along the way and will host alumni, donors, potential students, and partners, including community college presidents and other fans at evening events. The goal is to meet gorillas across the state and to secure funding for scholarships for students. If you want the best steak in Kansas, look no further than Van's Steakhouse in Baxter Springs. At least that's according to the website Mashed. They compiled a list of the best steakhouse in every state. Van's Steakhouse was chosen for Kansas based on research on reviews, accolades, and recommendations from various sources. That's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News, Charlene Patton from the Kansas Soybean Commission stops in to show us how to make a soylicious Cobb salad.
And we've still got some showers to contend with across the area this morning. Those clearing out, more rain on the way. We'll talk about all that when we come back. But first, here's another live look from downtown Joplin. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Charlene Patton back down from Topeka with another exciting recipe, and this is a soylicious Cobb salad.
It is, and it's another winning recipe from the Kansas State Fair Heart Healthy Recipe Contest. Tell us who won this.
It looks like it's Margaret Miller from Burdett, Kansas won this one.
And she got, I believe, third place with this recipe. I love it because this ranch dressing that she has, I figure, will be something that your viewers will enjoy all summer long with their salads, and they can make their own ranch dressing. So we're going to show how to do that, and then I'll talk a little bit more about her salad. But we have mayonnaise in here, and if you look on a jar of mayonnaise, either the first or second ingredient is going to be soybeans. So that's our soybean product. And then we're going to add to that plain soy milk and some apple cider vinegar that I've mixed there together. We'll add that, just a little bit of the apple cider vinegar, and that kind of thins this out a little bit. And if this recipe is a little thicker than you'd like, just add a little bit more of the soy milk to it. Now we're going to add all these flavors to it. We have onion powder, we have garlic powder, you can add that, dill weed, what is this one here?
We got some parsley.
Parsley, dill weed, onion powder, and garlic powder. So just start adding them, and I'm going to start stirring so that blends it all together.
There's the parsley, and we've got, whoa, this is going to be one of those days. We got the dill weed here.
Dill weed.
Okay, next we have the garlic powder, I believe, and
onion powder. Great.
I'll make sure I got those in the right order there.
And then a little bit of salt and pepper.
Just a little bit of that salt and pepper there.
Okay, so now look, you've got a nice ranch dressing here.
Wow.
And that's easy to make, and one that you can vary the ingredients just a little bit to suit your taste. But again, if it's a little thick, make a great dip for relishes, salad, after school snacks for the kids, and a healthy one. Over here, what she did then was put together what she called a Cobb salad. And we have what she called the eggy tofu. And if you haven't had tofu before, this would be a fun recipe to try. Cut it into cubes. We're going to saute it and add a little seasonings to it. But that is what she said replaces the eggs in this. Gives you a nice protein boost. Then we have edamame, cherry tomatoes there, cucumbers, and then she topped it with a little bit of soy bacon. And the soy bacon I found in the freezer section in the grocery store. Sauteed it a little bit in the oven, in the skillet, following the directions, and then cut it into pieces. So that sprinkles on top of your salad.
All right, a delicious and another very colorful meal like the one we had last week.
Very colorful and a fun one to celebrate for spring.
And very spring-like looking for sure. Charlene, thank you so much. And of course, as we do every week, just a reminder, where can folks go for all these recipes?
They can go to kansassoybeans.org to our website or call our 800 number 877-KS Soybean.
And of course, all this information on our website, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 7:39. So we wanted to recap some of the flooding concerns we have. We've received a lot of much needed rain, but as mentioned, some of us got a little too much. We've got a flood warning until 10:25 this Thursday morning, and that is along the Spring River near Carthage, expected to crest at 12 feet, and that puts it in minor flood stage. Until 1:30 today, we have an aerial flood advisory for parts of Jasper, Newton, and Lawrence counties, and then we have an aerial flood warning for portions of Berry County until 10:45. So do make sure you're taking a caution in those areas, and watch out for those flooded roadways. Visibility improving significantly across the area. Still some dense fog and mist up around the Nevada and Stockton area, but a lot better than where we had been. MoDOT camera 30-second in range line showing that it is cloudy out there, and we're getting the same from the KDOT camera 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh because, well, there it is. It is cloudy. It looks ominous out there, but it's just clouds. We got 60 in Joplin, northwest breeze at 6 miles an hour across the region. Temperatures sitting upper 50s, lower 60s, 59 Fort Scott, 57 in Iola, 60 Topa, 61 in Miami, and 62 in Neosho. Temperatures not moving much today, hanging out in the lower 60s. Some stray drizzle, maybe a shower or two possible, otherwise just cloudy and cool. We're going to hang out in the low 60s for our highs today, as these clouds really aren't going to go anywhere. We will stay mostly cloudy through the day and into tonight as well, but the clouds also help us not get too chilly as we drop back into the upper 50s. We get an opportunity to dry out, and as shown by those flood warnings, some of us do need that opportunity to dry out. We're near 80 tomorrow, partly cloudy. We will spend the majority of our Thursday dry and warm at about 80, and then about 5, 6 o'clock, we'll start to see some scattered thunderstorms popping up, and those will continue into the overnight hours and throughout the day Friday. They'll be scattered, but it's going to be enough rain and cloud cover to keep temperatures in the upper 60s. Saturday, upper 60s as well, partly cloudy. Sunny skies on Sunday, so if you're needing to catch up on some yard work or mow down that lawn, which is probably growing out of control, great day to do it, lower 70s. We continue to warm up as we kick off the next work week, pushing in the low 80s by Tuesday, and then by Wednesday and Thursday, we'll start to see some more of those pop-up thunderstorms across the area. So we do need that rain and more of it on the way, but temperatures staying in the lower 80s. That's a check of your forecast. Now, here's Tanya Bach with a check of Consumer Watch.
That's right. Wells Fargo has agreed to pay $1 billion to settle a lawsuit. The lawsuit accused the San Francisco-based bank of defrauding shareholders about its progress in recovering from a series of scandals, one being the treatment of its customers. The bank has operated since 2018 under consent orders that it improved governance and oversight. This comes after shareholders accused Wells Fargo of overstating how well it was complying with those orders. Americans are holding on to their cars longer than ever. The latest analysis shows the average age of life of vehicles in the U.S. has hit a record high. Researchers say the average car on the road is around 12 and a half years old. The 6th straight year they've seen the average age increase. An older fleet of vehicles means more repair work will be needed, which will likely cause a surge in aftermarket repair opportunities. Scramble up an omelet. The price of eggs has gone way down. Last week, Midwest large eggs were just 94 cents a dozen wholesale. That's down from a whopping $5.46 a dozen 6 months ago, and that's according to an independent price reporting agency. Those are wholesale prices. You're likely paying more at your local grocery store. The rising of AI is changing the world, but the eerie replication of human emotions is causing some people looking for love online to be tricked. Fox's CJ Papa has more.
Even pre-AI, the level of sophistication that scammers are applying globally has been on the increase, making them more compelling and more realistic.
The rise of artificial intelligence causing some concern that it could replace real human emotions. And some looking for love online are experiencing just that. More fraudsters are using AI and online dating apps to take financial advantage of unsuspecting users.
So Ramon scams are one example. Catfishing is one example, but there's a whole bunch of other ones such as investment scam, impersonation scam, etc.
For years, banks have warned consumers to watch out for language issues and grammatical errors when being approached online.
Tools like ChatGPT now mean that scammers have immediate access to language validation and thus a more convincing way to interact with the victim.
ChatGPT is also being used by fraudsters to create bogus dating profiles.
So you can very easily ask a tool like ChatGPT to write from different perspectives, create different profiles, and then you can ask it to continue to write from those perspectives as you generate messages to then pass on to victims.
Victims of online dating scams have reported sending more money to romance scammers using cryptocurrency and bank wires than any other method. Together, they account for more than 60% of reported losses to romance scams. Gift cards and payment apps were also used to steal money. Red flags to watch out for when looking for love online. Quick advances like moving a chat outside of a dating site early on to Hangouts or WhatsApp. A lack of willingness from the scammer to meet the victim in person. And investments with unusually large or immediate returns.
By far the biggest one is simply do not make a payment and do not send money to somebody that you have not met in person.
CJ Papa, Fox News.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell.
On Fox 14.
Well, two women got a Mother's Day gift they will never forget: the birth of their little girl.
Rowena Shaddix has more.
They say timing is everything, and for Laura and Leilani Barnett, it couldn't be more perfect, welcoming their new baby daughter Lana into the world just this morning on Mother's Day.
Oh, it was quite a surprise.
At Laura's 37th week of pregnancy, Lana wasn't supposed to arrive until June 1st, but the 5-pound, 6-ounce determined baby had other plans.
I didn't really know until, honestly, early this morning when my water broke.
I was really surprised. It wasn't anything we expected since it's about, almost 3 weeks early.
Yeah.
So we just packed our bags really quick and headed over here.
The couple says once they got to Sutter Hospital, they were met by a top-notch medical team, and the new family birthing center was a dream. The 11,000 square foot expansion enabled Sutter to add more labor and delivery rooms, postpartum recovery suites like Laura and Lana's, and tubs for water birthing.
Giving birth at Sutter Davis was really a positive experience. Yeah. Everyone is really kind and supportive.
Everybody's been awesome, just a really great team, and it's never fun having a surgery, having a C-section, but everybody just made it as smooth as possible.
Although it started out stressful for the freelance journalist and federal outreach worker, all in all, the moms say it was an amazing experience.
Scary, just in terms of being afraid that it was too early. But so far she looks great.
And looking at their baby's face for the very first time on their first Mother's Day.
It's a great gift.
It's a wonderful gift, and we'll never forget our baby's birthday. Yeah, it's definitely makes it all that much more special.
Certainly a very special Mother's Day gift.
For sure.
Well, we've got some flooding concerns across the area. We talked about some of those flooding pictures that we shared from the Grand Falls area and from the Carthage area. And it's around the Carthage area that we still have some of those flood warnings. So we've got that flood warning for the Spring River near Carthage that runs until 10:25 Thursday morning. And Spring River is expected to crest at 12 feet, so that puts it into the minor flood stage, so do be cautious about that. We do have an aerial flood advisory until 1:30 today for parts of Jasper, Newton, and Lawrence counties, and an aerial flood warning until 10:45 today for portions of Berry County. So there are some areas of concern where high water could be an issue, so make sure you're taking precautions as you're traveling today. The fog beginning to progressively clear out. We had been really socked in southwest Missouri with it. Still got a little bit of it in northeast Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, and Nevada and Stockton, and Mount Vernon still dealing with some lower visibilities, but otherwise improving significantly. 32nd and range line, we are looking good so far from the MoDOT camera there, and you can see some of that fog off in the distance from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. And back to our camera at 7th and range line, it is just plain cloudy, and be prepared. This is going to be your view for most of today. We're at 60 in Joplin with a northwest breeze at 6. Temperatures around the area have not really moved much. We've got upper 50s and lower 60s, 59s in Neodesha, Chanute, Parsons, Pittsburgh, and Independence, 57 in Iola, 61 in Miami, 62 in Neosho, and 60 in Carthage, Lamar, and Nevada. We're going to have those clouds hold on through the day. Some additional drizzle, maybe a couple of sprinkles possible. Otherwise, cloudy, dry, cool, lower 60s. Again, temperatures not moving much. Lower 60s for highs today, cloudy skies. If the sun manages to break through, some of you might get a pinch warmer, but in all honesty, the expectation is this cloud cover is really going to hold on and keep its grip on the 4 states today and into tonight. Will stay mostly cloudy, but because of that, temperatures again don't move much. They'll eventually cool back down into the upper 50s for our overnight lows. Now, since we have those flood warnings, I know we need more rain. We absolutely do, but some of us unfortunately do need an opportunity to dry out, and that's going to come over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, near 80, partly cloudy, much warmer. Will be about 80 on Thursday. The majority of our day will be partly to mostly cloudy. Clouds will increase later in the day ahead of some evening showers and thunderstorms, say around 5, 6 o'clock. Those will run through the overnight, and they will be scattered through the day on Friday, and that'll be enough cloud cover and rain to keep our temperatures in the upper 60s from Friday into Saturday, but partly cloudy, a little drier Saturday. Sunday, if you need to catch up on some yard work, great opportunity to do that, lower 70s. Warming up as we kick off the next work week into the upper 70s, lower 80s, hanging on to the lower 80s toward the end of the week with some additional much-needed rain chances. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Carthage authorities respond to reports of a crash at Central Avenue and I-49. That's where they discovered a pickup truck had left the roadway to the right where it had ran into a support column on the I-49 northbound lanes overpass of Central Avenue. Carthage Fire spent about 20 minutes extracting the driver of the pickup. Once traffic resumed to normal and the pickup was towed, authorities discovered the pickup was stolen. Joplin City Council rejects a proposal to ban sales of shooter bottles of alcohol in the city. Supporters of the proposal say the bottles contribute heavily to the city's litter problem, but opponents argue a ban would be unfair and would hurt the city's sales tax revenue. The council rejected the ordinance by a vote of 6-3. Diamond, Missouri School District's Special Education Department is selling off some surplus equipment. The items include foam play areas, swings, a ball pit, and a sensory stimulation kit. Bidding for the items will open on Wednesday at 3 p.m. with winners notified on Thursday. If you want the best steak in Kansas, look no further than Van's Steakhouse in Baxter Springs. At least that's according to the website Mashed. They compiled a list of the best steakhouse in every state. Van's Steakhouse was chosen for Kansas based on research, on reviews, accolades, and recommendations from various sources.
We're going to spend the majority of our day cloudy and cool. Cloudy skies out there. Temperatures not moving much, hanging out in the lower 60s. And we'll stay mostly cloudy as we head into this evening, eventually dropping back into the upper 50s. We're going to be much warmer tomorrow, an opportunity for some to dry out as we're pushing near 80. We're looking at 80 on Thursday, dry most of the day, and then by 5, 6 o'clock, some scattered thunderstorms late Thursday, overnight, and through Friday. Then we got a pretty decent weekend ahead of us and warming up as we head into next week.
Well, a little puppy rescued in Missouri had slurs and swastikas drawn on her skin.
The 3-month-old pup was rescued by law enforcement and handed over to the nonprofit animal rescue, Rescue One. The puppy had her fur shaved, revealing the atrocious sight. Rescue One says the puppy had swastikas drawn all over her body and even a message in her back with an explicit word saying not to feed her.
Rescue says thankfully the marks on her body have started to fade after several baths given by the staff, and they also say she's been placed in a foster home where she will stay until she's ready for adoption in about a month.
That's unfortunate, but thankfully that puppy was rescued and will eventually go to a much nicer, much more loving home.
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Well, we want to thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.